So, I'm here with my good friend, Jason Gastaldo.
This is Charles Bouffier.
Dude, you're the only guy on the planet that can pronounce my name.
Yeah, it's difficult.
That's
it's
dope.
difficult.
You just had to be able to speak 8 languages, and then it happened.
Yeah, and then I can finally say the name. It's my greatest aspiration.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So it's funny. We just met like 1 hour ago. We talked on the phone. The first time we talked for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Really connected because
That went by so quickly, man. That was crazy.
Yeah. So in the flow, and I was like, your story is so interesting. I want to record a podcast with you. But first, I need to give a shout out to our friend Philip from Berlin.
Philip, miss you, man.
Miss you, man. And also shout out to Giancarlo, because I got connected to Philip through Giancarlo and then to you. So that's so
Big
good.
shout out. Giancarlo's a legend too.
Legendary. So yeah, your story is interesting. First of all, your job is pretty interesting. I mean, it's not a real job. It's your coaching. It's your passion.
Yeah.
So you coach Swiss German-speaking people
Yeah.
to get, not to lose, but to reduce their accent when they talk English.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly.
some interesting thing. And then on the other side, you traveled the world for like 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's something I want to do as well, because you talked at the presentation, you talked about traveling the world almost for free.
Yeah.
So today I want to talk about this. It's super interesting.
Let's do it.
Traveling the world for 10 years.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about this, I was like, dude, it must be so expensive. It must be so difficult. It must be scary, because I had the wrong beliefs. And your presentation, you talk about how you did it. So first of all,
I started like that too, man. I was in the exact same place. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So then you started when you were 17. You basically made the decision, took the decision to travel.
Yeah.
What's your story?
Basically, I went to university in the US, and it's very expensive there. It costs so much money. And I had saved up some money from little jobs, and my parents also had some money for university saved up. I was at the point, I had studied for 2 years, and then I thought, what am I doing with my life? Because I had only one more semester left until I went into debt. I took out a loan or got some money from the government or whatever it is. And so I thought really hard, like, what am I doing? What do I want? And I wrote 2 lists. One of them was, what do I want in my life? And the other one was, what does my life look like right now?
Yeah.
And they were very different. And I was like, man, like, what am I doing? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I wrote another list of possible like actions or paths that I could take that would give me more of the things that I want. And travel was number 1. It was like, no question. Like, it was, I didn't want to be doing things like driving the same routes every day, going to classes that I didn't like, eating the same food that was boring and that was probably not even the most healthy for me because it was like convenient. I was meeting the same people all the time that I was like friends with them, but I wasn't like really excited about like knowing them. It was all sort of just like flatlining, man. Like, my life was sort of at this flatline place, and I wanted to like have some crazy experiences, like go low and like maybe not have much, and then like see what it's like to have a lot as well, and like just like I wanted more excitement and more to really live. And so I decided to travel from that moment on. I bought a ticket to Switzerland. My grandfather was Swiss, and I realized that I could get the Swiss passport and be in Europe, and I was like, why did I not do this before? That's crazy. I would love to be here. And so that's what I did. And since I came to Switzerland for the first time, I traveled around, I stayed with people, and for these 10 years that I traveled, the point of it for me was to need less and less and less.
Yeah.
I wanted to have more freedom, not by having more money, but by needing less money.
Yeah.
And going in that direction.
Yeah.
So now I've come to this point where I'm talking with you in this awesome cafe. I just ended up hitchhiking here because I felt like it. I have the money now for train tickets, not a problem. But I just felt like hitchhiking.
Yeah, you hitchhiked here, man. Show them. It's a panel.
So this is baby pizza, and on the back we got Fribourg, which is the license plate for Fribourg here in the city. So
that's just great. And funny, you told me I will be there at approximately 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, the guy's hitchhiking. Like, what is this, man? What is this? And you were like, 10, 15 minutes late.
Yeah, and I told you too. I let you know I'm going to be late.
Yeah,
I was like, hey man, I'm going to be late.
Yeah.
Of course, it works. It works well.
So, traveling the world for free, or almost for free for less money. 3 things we need to mention here is food, shelter, and transportation.
I call that, in my presentation, How to Travel the World for Free, the triangle of costs.
Yes.
So you got accommodation, food, and transport.
Yes.
So the whole thing is, if you want to travel for free, you need to reduce every single one of those points, the 3 points, to 0. So you're spending 0 on food, accommodation, and transport. And so hitchhiking, for example, would be taking the cost of transport to 0.
Yeah.
That's one option that you can do. For food, man, like, food is one of the easiest things, actually. You always have some food if you have the right mindset and you're open to what's out there. Because a lot of people don't even realize. But it's a statistic that's real. You can look it up. 1/3, approximately, of all food around the whole world is thrown away. It's like made, prepared, and it's really delicious, and it's thrown away an entire third. So that comes to supermarkets, restaurants, people's homes. Like, this is also not just business. This is like people's homes. They just throw out, or they leave food that gets expired, and it's like, oh, I gotta throw that out now.
Yeah.
So basically, if you go to any restaurant, this is a tip that I use all the time if I'm traveling, and it's so nice, and I've never met anyone else that does this, but it works so well. You go into any restaurant you want around dinner time, and you would bring a container with you, like a plastic Tupperware or something that you can put food in, and you just go up to the manager, you go up to whoever's responsible, and you ask them, like, you just say, I introduce myself, say, hey, I'm Jason, I'm hungry right now, and I was wondering if you would be able to, instead of putting people's leftover food after they've eaten into the garbage, you could just put it into this plastic Tupperware, and then I can come back like 2 hours later and pick it up. And almost everyone, like 90% of people, they do one of a few things. They'll either just say, because everyone at the restaurant knows that the food is getting thrown out. They all see it every single day, and they feel bad. Everyone feels bad when they throw out food. Maybe some people are like just numb to it. They like whatever. They don't think about it. But if you really think about it, they would feel bad about it. And so they're happy to be able to give that food, first of all. And they would most of the time actually just say, take a seat. We'll just give you some food. And it's delicious, fresh food. If they do say, yeah, you can come back, and a lot of times that's what they do, I've done this maybe like 50 times, and I've never gotten people's leftover food that they were like done eating and just scraped in. It's always been just food from the normal food they have, they just fill it up. Because they throw it out. If they don't, they just throw it out. So I come back, they're really happy to have done a good deed and like help someone out and just like give them some free food. I'm happy I'm getting food in this like new country, new place that I don't know anyone in. It's just like, it's awesome, and the food is delicious every time. It's hot, it's good, nice, hot food for free. Yeah. And it's just coming from this place of like, you're really grateful, but you're not like needy. You don't have to be begging. It's not like you like begging. You just have to realize like, if I don't eat this, it's gonna get thrown away. And to not make more work for them. Like I'm not there to make their life harder in any way. And you can really do that with this method. That's why it works so well. It's because you're very respectful. You're not like acting like you're some low person. You're not lying at all. You're just like, hey, I'm hungry. Do you have any food that I could eat? And they're very happy and refreshed to like even meet someone that's not
not needy or something?
It's not needy. That's not needy, and they're just like really honest. Really honest with what they want. They're like, yeah, sure.
Congruent, authentic.
Being congruent is the most important thing. Everyone, you could be doing anything in your life. You could be like a murderer. You know, like Charles Manson was in jail. He was getting fan mail from everyone. He wasn't saying like, I'm a great person and feeling he was like, I'm fucking crazy. Like, I'm this crazy guy. And people were like, I respect that because at least he's honest. So man, like really whatever you do, as long as you're congruent.
It's funny you mention that because on my Instagram, people that follow me on my Instagram, I started to do like crazier stuff. Sometimes I'm meditating in the club on the dance floor and I'm filming it because I love it, man. I can show you later. I film it in slow-mo. So people walk in the shot. They're like, So first I was like, it's weird, but I just started doing it, and I have more right now because of that. I have more people hitting me up and wanting to meet me because they realize, okay, like that's his real self, you know. Of course, you polarize more, so more people feel repulsed by you. But it's just
a beautiful
way better,
thing. Beautiful thing.
A lot more, it's a better life experience. I was the guy back in the days. I always wanted that everyone likes me, and I was kind of bending a little bit, you know. People feel
average.
Yeah. So that's a good one. So now we have food. You also did like dumpster diving. How do you call it?
So supermarkets throw away just as much food, and it's not cooked normally. Oh, sometimes it is, but normally it's like raw fruits and vegetables. You can get really anything that a supermarket sells, they have to throw away too. So, like some people, like I don't like to eat meat or fish or that sort of thing, and that's where I kind of draw the line. I don't even want to touch that. I don't eat dairy and meat anyway, but like
you mean I did dumpster, right? But in the restaurant, you eat it when they give the food.
Not now. I don't. I used to. Yeah, I used to, but now I prefer.
Because
not
of
to.
Your diet, or because of the
selfish reasons for my own health and like how my body feels.
Okay.
It's like yeah. Some people are like all about the animals. I'm doing it for the animals. I think it's awesome. I love animals too, but like if we get real, like everyone kind of rationalizes what's best for themselves, and for me, like it's just better for my health, how I feel. But yeah, I would eat it in the past from restaurants and stuff, of course. But like basically, if you go to, I did it in Switzerland a lot actually. I think it may have changed, but man, like I would go in Switzerland. It's kind of crazy. Like I'm sure it wasn't completely legal what I was doing, and it was kind of crazy. They have these trucks that are parked in the back of the mikvah, and it was all in there instead of like it was all unlocked and just like open. But yeah, it wasn't like a typical dumpster, so it was a bit different. But man, like it was really well organized, clean. If you go to countries that are really rich, it's like cleaner than most like other supermarkets in other countries, like, in the normal part, like man, like everything's organized in Switzerland. They put like all the fruits and vegetables here, they put all the bread here, they put all the Milchprodukte, like dairy stuff here. Man, like I blew my mind seeing it in Switzerland for the first time. It's very possible. There's websites for this called like Trash Wiki.
I was on there yesterday. Yeah, it's interesting.
Wikipedia for dumpster diving. So you have that. You put in a name of a city, and it shows you everywhere where you can go to get free food.
You can dumpster dive for lunch then.
Yeah. If you want to do it, I'll show you.
Oh, bro.
We'll go there.
Good stuff.
We don't need to.
We don't need to, but we can. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let me know in the comments below. Like we meet up a second time and we do dumpster diving compilation, man. Put some music on it, like.
Yeah, do wop 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 wop.
Yeah, dude. Put some Skrillex over it. voice over. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So we have the food. What we have? We didn't talk really about the hitchhiking stuff, because one mindset I still have is when you do hitchhiking, you need to wait a long time till someone comes.
So today I waited 10 minutes, and that was a long time, and that was over 3 separate rides. The other 2, I arrived at a gas station. The best is when you get to a gas station. If you're at a Tankstelle gas station, everyone's stopping there, everyone's going your direction, and they're all stopped so you can speak with them. And you just have to be nice, not look crazy, ask them if they're going your direction, and then they'll take you. I actually just had this sign. I was just walking around, and both times, within 10 seconds, I got out of the other car and I was like, thank you. And then some guy's like, wanna gosh? Or like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to Fribourg. And he's like, come.
Oh, dude.
So it's that quick. People want to help you so much, and they're just like, come. And if you look legitimate, like, this is a nice sign. It's written pretty well. It's not like some like children drawing. Like, if you write it well, people think this guy has his shit together.
Yeah.
If you write it and it looks insane, okay, it's a pizza box, so it's not like the best quality, but like still, it's white and it looks all right. Yeah. They'll think, okay, this guy can at least write. And if he can write, maybe he's not crazy. Like, that's not logical. But that's how people think.
Yeah, like the reptilian brain, the split second. They make split second decisions.
That's all it is. So you're using that reptilian brain with people. So
you told me later, as a guy, you need to like focus on looking a little bit like not dangerous.
Okay, just look at it like this. Simply said, guys, when they're hitchhiking, most people's fear from them comes from them being crazy, violent, like a rapist, or like having the guy be crazy or dangerous. And if it's a woman hitchhiking, then the woman is more afraid of all those things happening to her. And so you need to just take different measures to make sure that you're easing people's minds. And you're making sure they feel comfortable, they feel good. So as a man, I didn't have it this time, but often I have like my ukulele, little tiny guitar with me, and I can play that. It sounds amazing. And
In the car?
Yeah, I play some songs in the car. I have like a flower necklace. It's just like if the guy is wearing a flower necklace and has a ukulele and he's smiling and he's like not super dirty and looking crazy, then he's probably not a murderer. Like you can just like stack the positive things in your favor so that people will probably have a good opinion of you. Okay. It's like if you try to go and meet someone at some club or something and you just look like shit. It's like, yeah, you could. Maybe it'll still work. You could, but like it would work a lot better if you just like take care of yourself a bit and like just look okay.
So I should probably wait a little bit before I get my head tattoo, before I hitchhike.
Yeah, the forehead tattoo. It's good for getting rides from some kind of people though.
Okay,
so
okay.
Like Mike Tyson would pick you up.
Of course.
Yeah, and be like, I love your tattoo, bro.
I just know 2 guys that have the same tattoo, Mike Tyson, and a bodybuilder called Lee Priest. There's also like the tattoo here.
Man, when you're talking about polarizing, that polarizes everything. Man, just imagine their life. You're there meditating in the club. They're like with a face tattoo. Man.
Yeah, dude.
Imagine polarizing their life like that.
That's good. Yeah, that's it.
And you don't want to be in the ring with Mike Tyson when he has like a face. Just imagine like how intimidating that.
I feel like I don't want to be in the same room like Mike Tyson, dude.
I think he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think he was just on Joe Rogan, man.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, another podcast, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, I should get him as well sometime, man. Like try it out. Social skills.
Yeah.
So now we have food. Did we talk about shelter?
Not really. So there's 2 options. You can either go outside. You can live like our ancestors did and like sleep outside. And with modern things like sleeping bags, mattresses, tents that are good quality, man, you can be comfortable in a snowstorm or like a rainstorm. You're completely dry, warm, cozy, you have lots of space. It's really like, you don't feel enclosed.
Did this happen to you, like the snowstorm?
Yeah, man. Yeah, all the time. And if you have the good equipment, then you don't worry. Because you're like, I can set this up really quickly. I know exactly how it works. I know my sleeping bag, my mattress keeps me more than warm. Like in a snowstorm, I had a leg outside of the sleeping bag because it was so warm. Like I was too hot.
Oh damn!
And it's a nice feeling.
Yep.
You feel invincible when you don't need to worry about that. And if you get a nice mattress, it's luxury, man. Like I really like sleeping on those mattresses to this day. I sleep outside if I can. So the fresh air is so nice and like it's amazing. Yeah. I always sleep better. So
I guess the really cool thing is you start to appreciate the normal things of life. You know.
That's okay. So then after you've been sleeping outside, I'll admit, man, it's an amazing feeling after you've been camping or traveling like that for like a few days or a week. Then you go couch surf. You stay with someone in a city and they have a real house and like a real apartment. You go take a hot shower. You go chill on the couch, a soft couch.
Great,
you go lay in your bed. There's a pillow there. Man, it's super nice. It's really luxury. It makes you appreciate everything. Like when you've been in the wilderness and like in the jungle for like 2 weeks, and then you see a city again, you kind of like realize why humans made cities. They're like, this is nice to come back to, man. Like, nature can be brutal.
Yeah,
really brutal.
For sure. Now, I realized we forgot to talk about how to make money while traveling. Yeah.
So most people, when they talk about going traveling, they're in this mindset where they're like, I've saved up money, I just worked my job, and now I'm going to go travel. And then I'm going to travel until my money runs out. And then I go back. And then I go back. And that's totally cool. You can do that, especially if you like where you live and you love being in that place. Yeah. I think it's awesome, actually. It's a good rhythm. Yeah. But that's just like, hitchhiking. You don't need to do it all the time. But it's nice to know there's another option. If you want to do it, you can. But you don't need to. And the other option for making money would be doing something either that makes you money or that people give you accommodation and food for. So you can either you could work on a farm. There's this organization called WOOF, like Worldwide Opportunities on Farms, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And you could just go work on a farm and you have an experience in a different country. They provide everything for you. You don't need to pay anything, and they might even pay you. Yeah. So that's one option, like farm work. And then there's this website called helpx.net, and on that website you can find really anything. There's people working at one of the most common things for travelers is hostels. So you can just go to a hostel and you can volunteer in the hostel, and some of them even pay you as well. And so you're basically just like chilling in a hostel, travelers everywhere. You're able to save money there, maybe not a ton of money, but like you can save some money, have an awesome time, and then continue on.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways for you to indefinitely keep on moving. And if you're clever about it and you're doing something you're passionate about, suppose you're passionate about farming. If you're doing this way of travel where you're staying in farms, it's more than just a job, because it's you like learning more about farming. It's learning more about permaculture or like construction or whatever you're interested in. If you want to focus on that, you don't have to wait until you get some high-paying job. You can just jump into it, gain real-world experience, and do it.
Yeah.
And if you do want to get it as a job later and have more of like a regular life somewhere, you have the experience and you've done it. And people value that a lot more than like some degree. I was hiring people in this hostel, and if people had experience and they were very clear with what they would add, like what value they would give to us, within a time frame, and they like defined it really clearly. I can do this, I've done this, and I want to help you with this. We're like, yes, get this person here like right now. Because the vast majority of people, they were just like, yeah, I want to come and like hang out and it'd be super cool. Thanks. And it's like maybe we'd take those people too if they look like good people that just don't know how to present themselves. But like if you have real experience, it's so important. And you can go and start to get experience in whatever you want right now. You can just travel. They'll cover everything for you. You can do what you love, and like,
that's a good one, because I had also limiting belief like, I cannot travel because then I have a blank spot on my CV. But man, if you look at my CV, like I had a lot of blank spots back in the days, but my CV looks like really dope because you just like reframe it. You know?
It's all about reframing, and people appreciate that. That's also a skill of like, if you reframe yourself and you say what you were doing and you really value it and it helped you do this and this and this, people also appreciate, regardless of like, if it's kind of like they know you're bullshitting and you know that those were holes in your CV, they can see that. But man, if your attitude is really good and you're like, hey, I'm awesome and we're going to do some awesome stuff together, I'm going to help you do this, they don't care. They don't care. All they care about is if you're a guy that's like, I have some holes in my CV. I'm so sorry. Like, I know it's bad. They're like, I don't want this guy. But if you're like, I did this.
Yes.
Like,
yes, that's a good one.
It's someone that appreciates and values themselves, and like that's really important.
That's dope. I want to talk about something else because I'm also passionate about languages.
Yeah.
And man, as soon as you told me you speak 8 languages, me right now I speak 5. On my bucket list I wrote down when I was 20 that I want to speak 7 when I'm 30. But when I met you, I was like, damn, dude, I'm slacking, you know, like if you're at 8 right now. So, and you also are self-taught, right?
Yeah. I mean, other people help me all the time, but I've never taken like a formal course.
That's dope, yeah.
So like, if I'm in Switzerland, man, the magical thing about language is that every single person on this earth, if you're learning their language, and you ask them if they don't have, like, if someone comes up to you on the street, you're like, excuse me, how do you say this in Swiss German? You'd be like, it's that, and you'd be so enthusiastic because you're like the top-rated professor. You know it all.
Yeah.
You know it all. You know it perfectly. And so you're like, it's this, and you're really happy because you know it, and you're happy to give that to and like when I found this out, man, I also just like met a whole lot of people. So I just asked them like, when I'm in my language learning mode and I'm really intense into it, I will talk with everyone and I'll ask them like, what's that? How do you say that?
Like a little kid, right? Yeah.
Just like little boy or whatever.
That's
at like 5 years old, dude.
Yeah.
And people really respect it. And if you just drop the ego, you don't need to be like this guy that's like, yes, I'm James Bond. I speak perfect English and like, yes, like. No one wants that because that's not what they are either. Everyone's been there. Like, everyone knows what it feels like to be really bad at a language at the beginning. They understand. So if you're there, at least like trying and like doing your best, they love it.
That's a good one. I had the similar.
Everyone appreciates you.
That's a good point. I had a similar experience when I was in Colombia. I had Spanish at school, but I was always one of the bad guys like at school there.
Yeah.
And then I went to Colombia to learn Spanish, and I learned a book by, I don't remember who it was, but I also followed Benny Lewis back in the days.
Yeah, the Fluent in 3 Months guy.
Fluent in 3 months, yeah.
Irishman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he said also something like, when you go there, just tell them in their language that you don't want to speak English. So I just learned in Spanish, no quiero hablar inglés, solo quiero aprender español, like something like this. And also like, puedes repetir eso.
Yeah.
Also like.
Yeah.
And then it was really funny because at the beginning I also had like a lot of problems. I thought I felt really dumb and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I remember sometimes when I wanted to ask something in Spanish or in a past tense, and then I asked them, and you see at the reaction of people if they get it or not. And then the first time someone got it,
Isn't that the best feeling, man?
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
you're like, yes.
Look at me, bro.
Yeah,
Speak Spanish, bro.
yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I have the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So this learning mode, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It makes you really present.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just because as soon as your brain realizes that you need to learn a language, you get like almost in survival mode. Like, okay,
Yeah. When it's not a choice and it's like you need to do this.
Yeah.
And you can either activate that by like making a conscious pact with yourself, like I will do this, or man, like you just go into a country where no one speaks English and like, sorry dude, like you can't speak English. Like no one will ever, like China. No one speaks English in China, like from random place. They're like, what do you want? Like,
yeah. Ni hao, xie xie ni, xie xie.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's a good one, like learning language. So which one was the first to learn? Like Swiss German,
I
right?
started learning languages with Spanish first.
Yeah.
And then I got kind of good at it. And then right after that, I decided to come to Switzerland. And I was like, I know some Spanish, so like maybe I'll do some Italian, because Italian's using in Switzerland, right? And then it's one of the national languages. And then I was like, okay, maybe like most of Switzerland does not speak Italian. So I was like, oh no, maybe it's a bad idea. And so I learned German. Started learning German, and then when I got to Switzerland, then I realized no one speaks German here. They speak Swiss German.
Oh damn, right?
And they love speaking English. So it was really, really, really difficult actually at first, because everyone, when they heard I'm American, they're like, oh, I want to practice. Like, ooh, they really want to practice the English. And then I had to be like you said, like, no, like, ich will Deutsch lernen, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had to say that all the time. And yeah, everyone in Switzerland says to you that like, no one learns Swiss German.
Yeah.
It's impossible. There's all these different dialects. There's no written language. There's no grammar. It doesn't really exist, but it's bullshit, man. There's actual grammars. Like there's books of it. It really exists.
Oh, really?
Real.
I didn't know that. Okay.
No, they don't know. See, Swiss people don't even know, but it's true. So yeah, like, yeah, man. That was the next one. And then I just traveled a lot and learned the different languages when I was in the country themselves. That's the best place to learn if you're actually there.
In the field, you say.
Yeah.
So you said you kind of learned German. Did you learn it in the US first, or?
I was studying it. When I was preparing to leave, I started studying it in the US, getting some basics. But like, the vast majority was in Switzerland when I actually arrived here. Before that,
like the Hochdeutsch was in Switzerland. Then.
Hochdeutsch I learned in the US. Then I arrived in Switzerland, and I was like learning both of them at the same time. And sort of like learned them both. But.
Yeah. And then you went where after this?
I came to Switzerland, the first thing. Then I went into the Swiss Army for 10 months as a medic and a truck driver. And that was like a paid language school. That was hilarious. I had no idea what was going on. Like I was super confused all the time, following everyone. I just didn't know what was happening. And then by the end, the base commander of the school, like the Sanitätsschule, we made an agreement, and I was his like personal English teacher for like the vast majority of my army time actually. So I had this like awesome experience teaching him English and like getting to know, like I met to the chef d'armée. I went to like all these like all these super big meetings with all these people. It was a super cool experience. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man. Like, and then I was just traveling after that for a long time, doing all sorts of things.
Yeah. So Brazil, and then also like Spanish speaking.
Yeah, Brazil and Mexico, and I went to Spain and Portugal, and like all over Europe.
Okay. I also tell people like start with Spanish. Spanish is one of the easiest languages.
I agree. Spanish is simple and it's easy and it's fun, and you get to speak with really cool people from lots of the world. Like it's very, very wide.
Really talkative.
Yeah.
Sometimes they talk a little bit fast, but like if you tell them...
Deal with it.
Yeah, of course, good one. That's a good one. So, I guess you almost covered everything, but what else, perhaps? I guess that's... You said about preparing to leave. When you went US, you prepared to leave.
Yeah.
What should people... how should people prepare? What's the minimum?
What I did was get a nice backpack. Mine was 40 liters, and it was it opens from the top, so you could like really organize things well, and it had a big opening, so you didn't have to like put things down and stuff it down into this bag and never see it again. you really don't need anything, man. If you're gonna travel, don't take anything with you, or like the very bare minimum. And then if you want more things, you can always get them on the way.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing. If you need more, you can always get it. But it feels really bad to like take too much and then throw it away, or like give it. Like I give it away or just let it go. But like you feel stupid when you just spent money on it and you're like, I don't use this. It's heavy. It's not fun to carry around. So like start with almost nothing, and then you can see what you need.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something else also, because right now I'm also reducing all my costs that I have. But when you were traveling, you still had costs like, I guess, not life insurance. What is it called in English?
Travel insurance.
Travel insurance and Krankenversicherung. What's it in Spanish? In English?
It's like health insurance.
You also had health insurance when you were traveling.
A lot of the time, I did not. A lot of the time, I did not. I think that's a really stupid move, though. Like I got lucky, and now I have insurance, so I wouldn't do that again. But
yeah, it's the only thing I will keep as well. My insurance.
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's nice because, like, of all the things, like I can feel confident traveling and feel confident with food. I can do all these things, but man, if an accident happens, you can't predict that, and then it really sucks if you're not covered. Like that could just ruin a lot. And for that amount of money, it's not that expensive, man, for travel insurance, and it makes a big difference. So I would definitely.
You mean just travel insurance, or also like?
Travel insurance includes health insurance a lot of the time. When you get one that's made for whatever kind of travel you're going to be doing, then the bills are covered. Like you have to pay a premium, and then they cover all the hospital bills. They cover like taking you back to your home country, and sometimes, like in some cases. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like the last one I still have. Then phone bill as well, right? Still have phone bill?
I didn't even have a phone for a long time, man. Like I was just like without a phone.
Dude, that's hardcore.
It's awesome. You feel it's like you really engaged with what's around you, and like it's nice. But now I have a phone, so yeah, phone bill, of course, yeah.
I guess it's a bare minimum. Yeah, I would say.
Nowadays you can get like 4G internet for like $10-20 a month, and you have internet like roaming all around Europe. So it's like.
I mean, also in Switzerland, I even checked that out, man. I pay like $70 or something.
That's expensive.
Yeah,
dude.
man. Fuck. Damn.
Gotta give you some phone bill coaching too, man.
Yeah, man. You can give me all the coaching, dude. All the coaching you have, dude. What else? I guess that's everything. Then. Yeah, right. Phone bill. Yeah. Because I'm really planning hardcore right now. How can I travel the longest time? So I will need to reduce my phone bill. Insurance, okay, that's good. I guess it's everything then.
Yeah, we can break it down, man. I'll show you it. I'll show you what you need, what you don't need. Cut it out.
That's a good one. Yeah, we'll do it, man. That's good.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Then again, you mentioned all the places to work for, or if you want to make money while traveling, I'll put them in the description below.
Yeah,
because I also took some notes yesterday when I watched your
there's some nice websites. We can write them in the description. Like Helpex is like one of the biggest, nicest ones. There's so many cool things on there that are like really amazing people doing amazing projects.
Yeah.
And if you want to get in on the if you want to just get your foot in the door for whatever industry you want, there's pretty much people doing it, and they need people to come. And if you're into it, enthusiastic, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You get into it, and you're very quickly welcomed. And there's like possibilities in every country in the world.
Yeah.
You can just take them.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about is, I guess a lot of people are hold back by fear before they go.
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
And just always dig down to what the deepest, like what is it actually? People are like, really common fear is like, I just don't want to leave my job or whatever. And it's like, okay, why are you afraid of not leaving your job? Because I won't have money. Well, why do you need money? Because I want to have that. Well, do you need that? Like, no. Like, it's not really logical. What I found, you can't, like, that's breaking it down logically, but it's not logical. Most people, it's not logical. It's just habit. They've been doing the same thing for so long, and just doing something different is really scary.
Yeah.
And it's not even logical. It's not even like you've calculated, like done the numbers. No, nothing to do with that. It's just doing something different after you've spent such a long time doing something for the same way, the same time, all the time. So
yeah, that's a good one.
Just look at other people. What I would suggest is just like, if you want to do something, look up other people that have already done it. Yeah. So you can just look and say, like, it's possible. And you can see this is possible. And you just like hit yourself, like it's possible over and over and over again until your brain not only like logically understands it, but also emotionally like gets it. Like, yes, that is reality, and you lock into that, and that becomes your new like paradigm.
So crazy. Before I started to make YouTube videos, and before I started to make money online, money online is a good example. Like not long ago, I was like, I'm making money online, it's difficult. Then I saw people that did it, and at first I was like, how they can do it, because they are different.
They're special, and they have these special things. And
then one of my best friends, he makes like 5 figures a month right now online, everything online. And I'm like, that's my best friend. I know him since 5 years. I've seen his best sides, his worst sides. They're like, dude, if he can do this,
am I that different? Am I that different?
I can probably do it as well. But then I had to baby step myself, like 500 bucks a month, 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's the same with traveling, man. Like I will just start with 1 month and see what happens. I've met so many people that travel the world. I'm like, dude.
You have no idea how many times I've seen people. I've met people that are like, I just started traveling for 1 month, and then I haven't stopped in like 10 years. But like, it just keeps on going because it's just amazing. So.
I mean, it's funny. Like I don't know if a lot of people watching have this experience, but sometimes I had like 2 experiences in my life when my belief structure was challenged so hard. I was not able to sleep properly. I was like, damn, what? Because I was like, you know what? It's scary. I was like, what does this mean? The last 25 years of my life are not based in truth. I was
my God,
bro, everything that my parents told me, my friends back in the days, man.
It's brutal, man.
It's
so
scary.
Hard.
Like,
it's so hard.
When people also told me like, you can don't start a YouTube channel, your English is not good. People making fun of my English back in the days. Perhaps still do, I don't know. But back in the days, and now I overcame this.
They're called haters. They're called haters. Like, you can't. Your English is so bad, man. Like, where's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course.
What are you doing?
But then again, I don't resonate with that energy anymore. It's not even on my radar. It's like, okay.
Exactly.
But if the belief this was like really, 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 it's almost scary because then I ask myself, which part of what other beliefs are not true? And then you're like, oh, bro. Yeah. Because you realize people have a lot of money, they're the same as you. And one belief I had about life is also everything needs to be difficult and challenging. And it's not true, man.
No.
It can't come easy.
No.
It can't come easy. Like I told you, like I've met this YouTube guy called Frank Yang. I follow him since, perhaps my subscribers are getting tired of the story, but I'm really passionate about it. Like I follow him since 6 years. And I became literally best friends with him. And now we have business ideas we put in practice. Yeah. And I could never, you said exactly the same at your presentation at the Potsdam. You said, I could never have imagined the reality I have right now. It's so different and even better. And it's the same for me. I could never have imagined that just by going for it and going out there and trying stuff.
Yeah. You don't know the things that you don't know. Yeah, you're not even aware of the things that you don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. Yeah. It's this massive unknown.
But I have actually this theory, right? I saw it from one YouTuber. Your brain unconsciously knows how successful you can be and how much emotional trauma you can handle. Yeah. Your brain is just making you beliefs that you can actually handle. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yeah. So it's actually just a biological thing. Your brain knows it. And as soon as your brain sees, oh, this guy could become more successful, could travel the world, boom, the opportunities that open up.
So true. So true.
It's woke, man. I guess that's a good ending word. Where can people find you if they want to know more about you?
The easiest is Facebook or LinkedIn. My name, Jason Gastaldo, and I'm going to be doing more on my Instagram very soon as well. Jason at Jason Gastaldo, no spaces. So, yeah.
Description below. Yeah, thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles. It's been awesome, man.
Yeah. So I was thinking about documenting my travel for 1 month, like some parts.
Take this camera and do it.
Yeah.
And don't make excuses. And
or the phone, like, even. The phone.
Just people love it, and it'll make such amazing memories, man. Like, it's so funny to look back on these things. So do it.
I'm already doing it with the slow-mo videos and the Alan Watts voiceover.
Yeah.
So I could probably also put some stuff then when I'm talking in there. Yeah. Just
lots of ideas.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks, everyone.
I will see you guys next time.